All right, Madam Vice President, everything's falling apart. The president's approval rating is terrible. Yours is somehow even worse. All of your legislative priorities dead. Your administrative priorities dead because of the Supreme Court. The American people rejecting what you want across the entire board. How are you going to change course?
At what point does the administration say, you know what, this strategy isn't working, we're going to change strategies? 6 former administration officials last week wrote that open letter urging the administration to change course, to change strategy. Is it time?
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree that there are things and tools that are available to us to slow this thing down.
Franklin Roosevelt famously said, "We have nothing to fear but fear itself." Ronald Reagan famously said, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." And Kamala Harris famously said, "It's the time now to do what we've been doing every day, and the time to agree that we are doing, that we've got things to do together, and the time." Powerful. It's really powerful, doesn't it? It sends a shiver up your spine. A shiver up your spine to think that this woman could become the Vice President of the United States. She is obviously a good politician. She is, by definition, she's a good politician. She's the Vice President. I called this, by the way. You know, I hate to say I told you so. I called this during the 2020 Democrat primaries. I said, watch Kamala Harris. People laughed at me. They said, Kamala Harris, she's terrible. I said, watch Kamala Harris. Then she's one of the first people out. They laugh at me. They say, Michael, you idiot. Kamala Harris isn't going anywhere. Kamala Harris is a heartbeat away from the presidency, and the current president doesn't have a very strong heart. So she's clearly a good politician. She's worked her way up. She's not particularly academically distinguished. She's not particularly professionally distinguished, but she worked her way up in politics through various mechanisms that we don't need to get into here. She became a United States Senator, and she became the Vice President at a relatively young age. That's impressive. But she's a terrible communicator. She is less coherent than Joe Biden. And Joe Biden has problems in between his ears right now, okay? And somehow she's worse. This is the only thing politically Joe Biden has going for him, is that his vice president is somehow less popular than he is, even though he's extremely unpopular. His vice president is somehow less coherent than he is, even though he's obviously in the throes of senility. That is something, because it potentially could stave off an impeachment if Joe Biden even lasts, if he even makes it that far. It's really important to diversify your investments all the time, but especially when the economy is a little kooky. Right now, inflation is at 40-year highs. 40. It's here to stay. Do you know why it's here to stay? Because the government's dirty little secret is they want it. Think about this. Right now, inflation rates are higher than the interest on treasury bonds. So with every day that passes, the government owes less on its mountain of debt. Imagine, for instance, if your mortgage had a negative interest rate. Would you be in a hurry to pay it off? Would you make extra payments every month? And no, I don't think so. So your pain is the government's gain. Protect your savings now. Hedge against inflation with gold from Birch Gold, because the government is sabotaging the value of the US dollar. Birch Gold will help you convert an eligible IRA or 401k into an IRA backed by real gold. That is peace of mind. That's why I am a huge, huge fan of Birch Gold. With thousands of satisfied customers and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, you can trust Birch Gold to protect your savings. Text Knowles, Knowles, to 989898 to get a free info kit on holding gold in a tax-sheltered account. Then call Birch and protect your hard-earned savings. Text Knowles, Knowles, to 989898 to get your free info kit now. Really bad news for the Democratic ticket in 2024, so bad that Kamala Harris refuses to say that she and Joe will even be running during the next presidential cycle.
Are we going to see the same Democratic ticket in 2024?
I'm sorry, we are thinking about today. I mean, honestly, that I know why you're asking the question, because this is the part of the punditry and the gossip around places like Washington, D.C. Let me just tell you something. We're focused on the things in front of us.
Lady, this is not a hard question. This is not an unexpected question. How do you not have an answer for this question? This is basic stuff for a vice president, especially in a troubled administration. We're just thinking about today. No, we're obviously not just thinking about today. That's why the interviewer asked the question, are you going to be on the ticket? But she can't say that she or Biden are going to be on the ticket. Why? Because the administration is underwater and because they haven't accomplished anything. I mean, this is the best news for conservatives, is they really have not accomplished much of anything. Their entire legislative agenda has been destroyed. They can't even pass a budget. They can't even pass a budget. The Build Back Better program is dead, and it was killed. Obviously, the Republicans were opposed to it, but then it was killed decisively by a couple of Democrats. The filibuster, killed by Republicans and a couple of Democrats. The filibuster abolition plan, the court packing, the federal election takeover, the whole thing. So they were not able, even though Joe Biden had served in the Senate for, I think, 350 years, he wasn't able to use those relationships to bring his legislative agenda over on Capitol Hill. So then he tried to figure out a workaround. His workaround was going to be to use the administrative state, the agencies, to force through his vaccine mandate. That didn't work either because the court shot it down. So why would Biden and Harris run again? What have they done? What could they run on? What accomplishment? What promise of an accomplishment could they run on? Got to ring that bell. That's how you're going to get the notifications when the new videos come out. Probably the best way, actually, is you go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or Google Play. Wherever you get your audio podcasts, type in The Michael Knowles Show, subscribe, leave a 5-star review. We'll see you next time.